Hello my fellow chess bros, we are back at it again, and in my most recent video, I touched 1900 for the first time ever. If we come down here, you can see these beautiful green letters where I was 1902, two times actually. I made it, and then I lost, and then I won again, went back exactly to 1902, but now I have suffered two losses in a row. We have slid back down to 1886.25, and without further ado, let's see how I fared in today's game. Hopefully, I can do better than these last two games. I don't think that I'm going to lose three in a row. I just don't have it in me. Dude's 1832. He's starting with a weird opening. So you know what we do? We play c6 against everything and anything always, without exception. That's what we do. Because sometimes people be coming with this. Never played against this in my life. What a weird opening. What a weird opening. We're going to get this bishop out, and we're going to go for this structure. When you don't know the position, he's going to fanchetto both bishops. What an interesting opening choice by our opponent here. Now, what do I want to do with this bishop? Probably just going to put it here. What an interesting opening choice. But you know what? There's something to be said for playing a weird opening because, like, officially, I have never played this. Where do I want to go with my queen? I've really got two options. I don't want to block the only square for my knight. And I feel like there's less stuff on dark squares over here. So my bishop looking at this doesn't seem like it's going to do too much. So we're choosing this diagonal instead of going this way with the doubled up move. Now, it looks like he's going to castle. I'm going to go ahead and castle as well. And we're just going to have a nice little game of chess. So his dark square bishop is going to be attacking my king, and my dark square bishop is not. So I'm kind of keen on the idea of forcing this trade because there's nowhere for him to go. He can't escape. And so on my next move, we're just going to take that because mine was doing a whole lot of nothing, and his not in the end game, but later on was going to be attacking. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that guy. Now his queen is over here. And we got options. We could even go for like a knight advancement. But you know what? It seems like he's never going to take this. So I'm going to have to play here. And what's unfortunate about this is I probably play here and then he takes. Because now my knight has already been committed to this weird square. I also probably need to take the time to scoop my rook over to any of the other squares. I could push forward and kind of take away this pawn push. Seems to make sense. Definitely don't want to fall too far behind on the clock. I'm already 1 minute behind. This knight's going to have a beautiful home here. I think we're just going to go ahead and put this on the same line as the queen. It's off this diagonal because the bishop, and it's on the same line as the queen. I think we're making just small improvement moves. It looks like we've got same side castling, so our kings are probably going to be super duper safe. This diagonal is quite delicious for my guy, and there's no way for him to really boot me out of here. So this pawn push is not something that I need to do immediately. So we're going to bring my rook over here in case this trade does happen. Then I'm already having my rooks over here on the openish side of the board. So we are going to scoot this back just for the simplicity of if he hits us and we scoot back and then he jumps in, this does not come with a tempo on our bishop. So now we're back here. I know that was probably a little bit quick, but okay, this square is our opponent's. Absolutely everything in his position is looking at this square. He is going to push this. When he does so, I probably will have to take. I could get rid of my light square bishop. Huge trade in the middle of the board like that. I could also take this time to make a push. If we see this, what should I be doing here? What should I be doing? This no copyright, lo-fi chill is just delicious for this game of chess. I want to scoop my queen up so my queen is a little bit more active, but that directly walks into all sorts of stuff over here. So what if I just push a pawn, bro? What if we just start breaking out over here? This pawn push seems to be somewhat reasonable. But he'll probably just take. And if I take, then he takes, and I take, then this is hanging. That was so terrible. Scooting the queen forward. I literally have no idea what to do in this position. Sometimes the middle game right now is arguably the hardest part of the game, even though there's probably like 7 moves that I can make that all make sense. So this did loosen this up just a tad bit for me. What do I do? We're going to push a pawn over here. I literally don't know what to do. This pawn push makes sense. This pawn capture doesn't necessarily make sense. Bruh. This is just an unpleasant game of chess. Straight up unpleasant. I think maybe jumping into the middle is something that I should really be considering. Because take. This pawn is going to be impossible to really defend. Does that make sense? Should I? I feel like that's probably what the computer is saying, because otherwise I'm basically falling behind in the grand scheme of things. So here. His knight can jump forward. If I push, take, and then he's going to take it. So that's actually not going to work because he'll win a pawn all the way at the end of all of that. Don't know what to do. Moving a rook up 1 square. Don't know what to do. At least this diagonal. We're both doing great jobs. I could have drawn that a lot easier like this, but whatever. Both of our bishops are kind of not doing a whole lot. And he can just bring his knight forward. Is it time that we make this push? Here. Knight goes in. We're pushing. I need to do something. Sitting stagnant is not what's going to happen in this game. And if he just leaves the tension going on, then we have head-spinning complications with this position. Now, what do I want to do? Bring the knight to the middle or reinforce with the pawns in the middle? I think here, then here. I think we're going for this. If he goes somewhere like this, I can take. If he goes here, it attacks, but it's not the end of the world, and it opens up this ability. So we are going to take here. If he's not careful, I will push and have a passed pawn, and then he'll have a 2-on-1 over here. I can take with the rook. If he takes back, then I bring my knight towards the middle. I quite like that. If I go here, he can double up on this, but then I'm pretty quick to defend. But then he can push. We are indeed just going to take with the knight. This square is all of a sudden kind of becoming my square. He could play something as simple as like bringing a queen over here or pin. No, he couldn't pin the knight, but probably what we'll see is this double idea. And if we do, this gives me, this knight is, I feel like, a little bit flimsy. How many things are attacking this right now? That was a weird way of attacking. But I can intercept that by putting something in front of it. So right now he's just got 1, 2. This knight is defending. So it makes me believe going here makes sense. And if he takes... Whoa. Here. I go in, right? If he just takes, then I just take. I think that move works. And it's attacking the queen. So he's got to do something with the queen. So taking it probably is what makes sense. If I take here and then take, he can just push this pawn. And then I got to scoot out of here. So I think maybe taking with the bishop is what I should do. Take with the bishop, take here. You got to do something with the queen. Because this, the pawn push. I would get in with check, actually. Wait. Here, here. Pawn push. I think I have to take with the bishop. I'm not sure if I had to do any of that. But wait a minute. Now when he takes, if I take, bruh, everything I just calculated didn't make sense. Ugh. We go for it. He can then go for the queen trade. Then my knight's hanging. Everything I just did didn't make sense. Oh, dear Lord. My knight is hanging. My queen is also hanging. If I just take, his knight comes to the middle. I mean, I can fly in. I'm just going to really rely on activity. I'm going to be able to get my rook to the 7th rank. Attacking this. He doesn't immediately need to do anything about that. We've got this check. We've got this pawn threat. We've got this, which also threatens the pawn. And his rook is kind of pinned down to this. So if we see the pawn push... Okay, so he's just going to ignore it. I think we're going to take. Not even going to calculate it. I've got 2 minutes. I'm going to take because I can do it. He hits me with a check. I scoot out. Only move. This is a check. We're not going to get any cool checkmates out of that, but it's definitely something. Taking a pawn with check is always good. And then I can kind of, reroute and have this idea. Oh, okay. I mean, we can take a pawn. I feel like that's what we have to do. This knight is now kind of glued to the defense of this. He wants to go for this. What if I push forward? Scoot like this, he can definitely push forward. So we're going to push this pawn. This is sort of an idea, but I'm hanging on just enough. And then if the king ever does come to this, I can push this pawn. So now I can scoot in. That's a check, but okay, so he's going for this. We go here. Yes, he can take, but then we're going to take. He's got a passed pawn, but I think I'll be able to win this one. I mean, almost definitely we just have to play this. What a complicated endgame. This passed pawn is going to be just the end of me. Push. Take. Doing it. I think that I'll be able to get a passed pawn. Now, what's better? Obviously this one, because that one would have been hanging. He can hit me with a check. Oh boy. This check is scary. Over here, I'm not convinced. Not convinced at all. He goes here. We go here. Cut off this sort of thing that's going on. But if he pushes forward, then we come back with this. Correct. We attack it again. 25 seconds. Oh my god, I'm just going to get flagged. I hate chess. Here, here. The knight is hit. The knight has to go here. I think I need to start pushing pawns. Take. Here. King forward. Push. Here. Pretty sure it's a draw, but this guy's going to be able to get the better of me. Here. Oh my god. I think I just need to accept the draw. Okay. Here. You can hit me again. Here. 5 seconds, bro. I'm cooked. Here. Here. Oh my god. I'm flagged. I hate chess. Oh. I think I'm winning, but dude, that was so uncomfortable. I'm so sorry, guys. Man, you touch 1900 and you just slip back. 3 losses back to back. I don't even know what to think. We're going to check it with the computer. In this endgame, I'm almost guaranteed that there's a way for me to win this. I think that he should have kept the knight on the board. We're in. He attacks my knight. For one, I can just grab this pawn. For one, I can just grab the pawn. I grab the knight. We trade off equally. And then I feel like I'm winning because his king is cut off. There had to be a way that I can just start advancing everything. Like, even if I sacrifice this pawn, I could, like, wiggle my king over here in such a way that I'm going to also win this pawn. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to check it with the computer. I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis. And that is absolutely heartbreaking. Chess is so difficult. And so those are the worst games to lose, where you're completely winning, you throw it away to a draw, and then you just get flagged in low time from a position where only you can win. So it's rough. It's a hard pill to swallow, but here we are. That's what happens. If we look at the graph, we can highlight all these inaccuracies. So the opening, every move back and forth was an inaccuracy, but none of them were like that bad. It was just like you could have had a slight advantage, but you chose to keep an equal advantage. And so some of the moves were a little bit kind of crazy to be making. And so we get a little jagged opening. Middle game is more or less equal. He's slightly winning. And then all of a sudden, I'm crushing, equal, crushing, equal, crushing, equal. And so I missed. My 3 blunders were in the pivotal moments of this game. Like, I could have won. There was a faster, easier way to win, and I missed it. And some of those are super simple. But however, my first blunder was made here when I had less than a minute on the clock. So let's just go back to the beginning of the game, and we'll fly right on through this. So, and we'll kind of go through this. So every move is an inaccuracy. So I can push this pawn. You can either go to the side of the board, which is weird, or you can go back. Okay? So generally, if you can push a pawn and attack a knight, I mean, it can go here, but then I might just attack it. Whoa, 2 squares. Might get it attacked again. Comes over here. I literally might attack it again. It comes over here. I might attack it again. And all of a sudden, I've got a bunch of pawns advanced. Your knight's jumping around. But even if we make all the good moves, it's only a -1 advantage. So could have done that. So we get inaccuracy, 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 mistake, inaccuracy, mistake, inaccuracy. So basically every single move was not the right idea. So he definitely has a suboptimal pawn position. Like, that's definitely a lot of, I don't even know how to explain this. It's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes going on in this entire position. You didn't have to do that. My position is much more solid. The little Egyptian pyramid is the way to go. Unfortunately, all of us, we both missed all of that. But who cares? It's a completely even position. Let's play a game of chess. So I castle, we go here. I trade off this bishop for the reasons that I explained in the video. I felt like his was going to attack. Playing this bishop pin move like inside the enemy position, that's a weird, hard move to play. And so we start pushing some pawns, move my rook. We do some more pawn pushes. And the reason that I did one push was because I get hit. If I scooted back, he could jump in and then get my bishop. So I did make the escaping square for my bishop because he can now force me to go to this square, basically. So he hits me, I scoot back, then the knight hits me, but now I've got a place to go. So instead of doing all that, I just scoot back. So now when the knight arrives here, he is no longer going to hit my bishop. Still, it's telling me to go into the position with this type of idea. No way I'm playing that, and no way I'm playing this retreating knight move to reroute my knight that way. I feel like my knight is doing a great job here. So the top computer lines, there was not a chance I was going to play any of those. Instead, I elect to move my queen one square because we don't know what we're doing. I push a pawn because we don't know what we're doing. Still, it's telling me to go into the position. Not going to happen. I move a rook one square. He moves the queen, and we're both deciding what should we do. And with this pawn push, the position changes a lot because now we're going to have a more or less open position over here. Stuff is going to trade, and we have absolute pandemonium. This pawn can take here. This pawn can take here. Both pawns can take here. This pawn can take back. Three things can recapture. When all of that happens, this square gets weaker. Huge, huge exchange right here. All of these pawns looking at each other. And so I go for the right idea. We trade. Got real spooked here. But at the end of it, yes, like it worked out, but no, I didn't see it. So I saw all of these trades, but then I just lose this pawn. What I get lucky with is, okay, but I'm the first one attacking. So yes, you're up a pawn. You've got this extra pawn, but I'm getting into your position first. So at the cost of a pawn, I get activity, and it just worked out to be an even position. No, I didn't calculate any of that. It just seemed like I'm losing a pawn in the middle of the board. His knight is now in the middle of the board, and I'm just down a pawn with even material, basically. Well, down a pawn with equal pieces, if that makes sense. So we get in, we take this piece, check, I move, and then this is where some of the blunders on my part start happening. So I've got 2 minutes. We take the pawn, of course. We push the pawn, of course. And then for reasons that I cannot explain to you, going for this pawn is more important. And I checked it with the computer, and it's like impossible to tell you why. Because you need to play this, then take the pawn, let this pawn start getting pushed. And then for whatever reason, you slip back out, and you're good to go. Never in a million years am I going for this pawn instead of these pawns. Because this pawn is never turning into a queen. This one or this one absolutely could turn into a queen. So the last thing on my mind was playing this rook move away from this side of the board to win this pawn. Never in a million years. And so I do just what I explained. I'm going for these two pawns. These are the danger pawns. Like, this is high danger, medium danger, no danger. And then this one's going to die. And so he takes, I take. We get all of this. Now this is my other blunder of the game. I tried to explain in the video. I had 58 seconds, and there are a few reasons. The basic reason that you take with this pawn is you still have a shield from this rook, okay? The reason that I didn't is because for whatever reason I thought this was hanging. So I thought if I take here, then he can just take this pawn. That's not really going to happen because I just take the knight, then he would take this pawn, then I take this pawn. Then we're in an endgame where he's got a rook, I've got a rook, but I've got an extra knight, and so only I can win that because he could lose the knight somehow, but really I would just get flagged either way. So the other reason that this doesn't work is, say he was to take, I hit him with this check, and whichever square the king goes to, I hit him with the same fork. So say he goes here or here, same fork, and then I just pick up this rook. Didn't see any of that, and I choose the wrong idea. And the simple reason it's the wrong idea is now there's endless checks on my king from over here. Man, this mouse is annoying. And so, absolutely, why did I open up my king like that? Then we go for this. I'm trying to figure out how to win this pawn. At least that was the idea. He gives me the check. I scoot in. He attacks my knight. And the computer says that this is the best move. But why did I not just take this pawn? So this is the best computer move. But in my world, we just take this pawn. Your knight is still hanging, so you still have to figure out what you're doing with it. The only move is to come back. So I could have just taken. He's got to get out of here. And then I hit you with this. And then it's like you either take and go into an endgame where I have 2 extra pawns, or you go out with your knight and then I trade you this way. Like, so you say you came this way, I just take, and then we just play an endgame. I'm probably going to bring my knight so my knight can participate. And then I just got 2 pawns. I'm going to win this. 10 out of 10 times I win this. And so I looked at this position for 6 seconds. Ugh, it breaks my heart. I also could have given this check, and there's a chance that the king goes somewhere where I can, like, give him a check. Okay, so, like, if the king goes there, for instance, I can hit him with a check. Then he comes forward. Then I take. I don't know. I should have just taken this pawn. You have the opportunity to take a pawn. Why did I go for an equal trade when I could have just grabbed a pawn? I hate chess. We go in, and I'm still crushing, but now I've got 17 seconds, and this is just more or less really difficult to actually win this game. So the idea that I was supposed to go for, this is my blunder. I hung a pawn. I've got 7 seconds, so I who cares? I was supposed to push this pawn 1 square, then scoot over, because then this is an idea. And then if this check ever happens, I scoot up here. If he attacks the pawn, I push the pawn, and everything is well defended. None of that happened. We move around, and ultimately, I just get flagged. In the endgame, I'm completely going to win. I don't even think this was the ending position, but it hurts my soul. Absolutely. I feel terrible about that. I'm sad. 81% accurate versus 82. But if you look at this, it was only me. It was all me. All of my blunders were the type of blunder where you're winning and you throw it away to a draw. And I did that like 3 times in one game. So that's rough, but that's chess. So thank you so much for everyone that's watching my videos, leaving the comments and stuff. I'm sure I probably missed other stuff, but it's already been 9 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know your time is valuable, and I don't want to bore everybody with my analysis because I lost the game. So, all right, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.